Welcome, I'm Jellybeans, and today I would like to talk about why Nintendo keeps doing this to us. I was going through and playing my first impressions of Mario Strikers, trying out the game and seeing what I thought about it. I just was met with disappointment. Every title that Nintendo is releasing for the Nintendo Switch seems to be void of content. They don't seem to want to commit to a game and provide it updates in the long term to get it to where it should have been on release. The same has happened for Mario Party, Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, and now Mario Strikers. The game is extremely bare bones. Once you boot in, you'll see that there's really only 3 modes: Quick Battle, which can be local online play, Cup Battles, and the Strikers Club, which is online. The gameplay is great, it functions really well, it's a solid game, right? But there isn't enough content. I keep seeing this time and time again, and I'm quite frankly sick of it. The same thing happened with Mario Party, where they finally put out a decent Mario Party that played to its strengths and back into the nostalgia of the original titles on the N64 and GameCube, but then they only have 5 boards, 5 very basic boards that is, and not many good minigames. Most of them were pretty lackluster. There's a few motion control ones in there as well, which I'm not quite a fan of. And then we get Superstars, which is a remake and compilation of the best old minigames and boards put into one game. And yet, they could only release 5 boards. They couldn't even put 2 from each of the N64 titles that they came from, which is Mario Party 1 through 3. No, instead we get 5 boards, and they were pretty decent boards, although not the ones that I would have picked. And Superstars has yet to receive any updates as far as I know to date, which is June of 2022. With all of that being said, let's jump back into Mario Strikers and let me show you just how much content is lacking. When you boot up Mario Strikers, you'll see this Quick Battle, Cup Battle, Strikers Club. Quick Battle can be single console and does support up to 8 players, which is great. There's not many titles on the Switch that actually do support 8 players, so to see it here is quite a nice welcome. You also have local wireless play, which offers only up to 2 players, which is a bit odd, and then online play as well through Quick Battle. Jumping back, you have Cup Battles. Now this actually lets you have 4 players on your team and join you in the cup, but this is all, of course, local play. And then we have the roster, which only includes 10 characters, and yes, it does include your Mario staples and favorites. It's a very lackluster. They all do have the same stats, which is nice, and they all distributed differently, so the characters have different playstyles and different abilities. Going into our jersey selection here, you can only choose between 5 colors, although you can unlock gear sets with coins, but what you see is what you get, and there are no additional colors to be unlocked. You can only get gear sets which do increase stats and change how your character looks. Which again, it's just minimal effort here. They could have done so much more. You also have 5 different maps to pick from, all are just aesthetics. Don't offer any change in gameplay, nothing of the sort. They just change the background and how things look. As mentioned, I'm not here to dismantle the gameplay. If you're looking for Mario meets soccer fun, this game definitely has that in spades. The gameplay is quite good, the animations, the quality and visuals and everything like that is quite solid. But Nintendo continues to pump out games like this where there just isn't enough at launch and you find yourself getting bored, and by the time that they do add content later in, well, it's too late. And that directly leads me into Mario Kart 8, where Nintendo is steadily releasing new content and tracks as we speak for the game. However, Mario Kart 8 is a port of a Wii U game. So to begin with, paying the full price tag for a port over from the Wii U was already asking for a bit much, and what Nintendo has done is take those old tracks but didn't match the art style of the new game, showing that they couldn't even be bothered to give the care and detail that they gave to the original expansion pass, since it's basically free content slapped into the Nintendo Online. When the Switch was first released, the online mode was completely free and you could play with your friends for absolutely no money. Then they introduced that online play must require an online membership, and in Australia here it's $30 for 12 months, which, yes, it is not as steep as the competitors from Sony and Xbox's passes, but the features that you were given were already offered for free. On top of that, the Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus offer free games per month, and the Xbox Game Pass now has hundreds of games that are for free. To make matters worse, Nintendo then added the expansion pack to their online, which bumps up the price to 60 Australian dollars for 12 months. And what do they include? Well, they give you Nintendo 64 games, Mario Kart 8 courses, an Animal Crossing DLC, and some Sega Mega Drive games. Wow. So for $60, I'm getting not that much compared to the competitors. I'm getting emulated versions of those older games, and not to mention that on release, some of them had issues and the emulation wasn't even up to scratch with the original releases on the Nintendo 64. It's just very sad to see the direction that Nintendo is heading. Compared to when they had the Nintendo DS lineup and you were getting full-fledged Mario Party games and Mario Kart on DS that were amazing titles and in their own right competed with the series, and that was on Nintendo DS hardware. Now we have the Switch, which is much more powerful and is seeing hundreds of millions of units sold, and yet Nintendo cannot put any effort into their games. They're taking the bare bones route. They're essentially betting on if the game will succeed or not. If the game does succeed, they'll add expansions and DLC and passes to flesh out the game to what it could have been or should have been on release. And then if the game does fail, well, they gave out a minimal product anyway, and looking at the sales of each of the Nintendo titles, I can tell you they're not failing. Anything with a Mario name on it definitely sells. And this is not to mention the pricing of Switch games, which has not fluctuated at all. There are no sales. There is no difference in the price. From a day one release, Breath of the Wild now still retails for full price with no reduction in sight. To come full circle back to Mario Strikers, this game should have at least released with a full campaign mode or some sort of story, but instead you're thrown in and really all you can do with the game is play with your friends as a party game or go online, and that's pretty much it. But what are your thoughts? Do you think that Mario Strikers is a complete game? Are you happy with the package as it is? Or do you think it really does need more content that should have been there for release? Please let me know in the comment section below. Well, that's been my rant for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content just like this one, subscribe and hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.